Welcome back to Lifting the Lid, the podcast where we pull back the curtain on the influencer industry. Today, I am with my co-hosts again, Lucy and Seran. We are back.
Yeah. I feel I've lived 5 lives and it's only Wednesday.
It's only Wednesday. That's horrifying. And we've got about 10 more lives to go this week.
This week is quite a busy one.
It is busy.
It is.
We had a really fun night last night, actually.
Yeah, how was it, by the way? I didn't ask you. Did you enjoy?
So good.
So good. So for context, Verity and I went out with one of our lovely clients, Hannah, who is actually currently in Six the Musical, but it was her week off this week, which meant we could go to the theatre with her. And we went for Rudy's Pizza, which was 10 out of 10. And then we went to go see Mean Girls, and it was amazing.
It was amazing. They were all so talented. Like, it was incredible. But it was quite funny because obviously I was there with like Lucy, obviously. I call you a professional, but you didn't like that.
A retired theatre professional.
A retired theatre professional. I was like, what do you want to be called?
Retired.
And Hannah is obviously a professional, and they were just there, like, experiencing it in quite a different way to me, I'd say. I was just like, okay, yeah. And I was like, that's good. And they were literally like, oh, those vocals. Like, Hannah was like, the way that they were like, she was like crouched down, and they were like, yeah, I know, like, how could they get that like, sound out from her when she was in that position? And I was literally like, yeah, I know, same.
Very technical there.
Sounded nice. But no, it was so good. And we were so jealous before when you obviously went, which we spoke about a couple of episodes ago. So now we've all seen it.
We've all seen it. 10 out of 10.
I feel like, yeah, a lot has happened. So within the last time that the podcast went out, we have since decided to grow our team again.
And have had a new starter since then as well.
TBH is growing. It's growing. We've got, so by the time this comes out, we probably would have started interviews for our social media exec position, which is very exciting. I mean, it all happens in sort of typical chaotic TBH way.
Usually, Verity goes on annual leave and then puts out a job ad.
And it's like, surprise!
Surprise! It's like, okay, I guess we're having a new starter.
Yeah. This one happened like in a particular surprise way because I was going on annual leave the next day, and our freelancer, who actually we're so happy for her, she's going to move on to pastures new, aka she is a full-time creator. Can we say who it is? I don't know why we'd make it a secret.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, so JC from our roster was working as our social media like manager, freelancer type thing.
And she was smashing it, by the way.
Yeah.
She's so talented.
Amazing.
So talented. And that's kind of like what she did as her hobby on the side while she was building her career as a creator. And obviously she signed with us and we were kind of one of her clients.
Yeah.
But then she's now moving on to being a full-time creator. So it was a bittersweet moment.
I know, it's so weird because like obviously we are working as her management to grow her creator career. But by doing that, we've done ourselves out of an amazing employee.
Exactly. But I guess we sort of saw it coming in a way.
Definitely.
Like it wasn't a complete surprise. So we were like sort of anticipating that this would happen. But anyway, JC let me know that she was going to be going full-time creator, I think like 5 p.m. on Thursday. And I had the ad out by 7 p.m. on Thursday night.
My mum literally sent me a screenshot of the job ad on WhatsApp saying, more staff? ? I said, it's as much of a surprise to me as it is to you.
The devil works hard, but Verity Park works hard.
I also think it's just so insane to think back for how long it was just the three of us.
I know.
And when we think back to the days when we were working in Megan's and the co-working space in Samsung at King's Cross, and now we're like imminently going to be a team of 6. It's wild.
Crazy.
I know. I thought you were about to go into like
All the eras.
All the eras.
no, all of the office eras, but also how something's going on with the moon, or like Seran has told me it's not Mercury in retrograde.
Mercury is not in retrograde.
But yesterday was good.
It's acting like it is, I must say.
Yeah, like something was off yesterday. Like we had one big cancellation from like a lunch and learn that we were going to, that all of our creators were going to. So then we then had to like cancel it within like a few hours. Or you guys successfully diffused that situation. One stressful situation dealt with, go team. And then I get that email. We were meant to be moving into an office, obviously.
Next week, by the way. Like,
oh my God,
soon.
yeah.
On Monday next week. Yeah. I just get an email being like, sorry, this isn't happening anymore. We can't sign the contract. I was like, oh, right. Well, I guess that leaves us a bit high and dry.
It does, but I am a believer in fate, and I do feel like this has happened for a reason. Everything does happen for a reason, and I feel like maybe that wouldn't have worked out had we gone ahead with it.
I agree.
Like there's going to be a better office space for us.
I agree.
Somewhere down the line.
And you know what sucks for them is we had ordered welcome cupcakes with our faces on them.
Exactly.
And now we're just going to have to eat them ourselves and
Yeah.
have them redirected to
Wait,
my flat.
Were they for other people to eat? I thought we were consuming this.
I think they were to share with our new office friends.
Why would random strangers we've just met want to eat us, like as in on a cake?
This office was a shared office, so it was a company that was already in the office. They were really lovely, like we got on with them, well, I got on with them well, and we would have taken a room in that office that they didn't need for like additional rent basically for them. It's the thought of like us arriving and then shortly after cupcakes with our face arriving on it that I'm like, they probably would have been like, we don't want you in our office, you freak.
I think they would have thought we were crazy. We were like, here's some cupcakes with our faces on it, and can we put our neon sign on the wall?
Oh yeah, and also paint the wall pink.
I was about to be coming in on Saturday with my roller.
I know.
And painting that wall.
Too much.
I was getting a bit scared of you guys. Like, there was so much intensity. There was an orange wall basically in the room that we were supposed to be in.
So ugly.
And you guys were like, yeah, so we're going to need to paint the wall. And I was like, well, we've only got a 3-month contract. So like, I don't know if we could just go in and paint the wall. And I was getting like really stressed that you were going to make me ask them.
But 3 months looking at an ugly wall is quite a long time.
And it was not on brand.
Yeah, we're doing them a favour, really.
But anyway, alas, it's not happening.
It's
and we're
not.
now a bit office homeless.
Office homeless, but we're sticking with what we know. Okay, speaking of chaotic things, I've not actually told Lucy and Verity the story because I refused to tell them until today at the podcast so I can get their genuine live reaction, because plot twist, some of our reactions are not real.
You can't say that.
The magic of showbiz, guys. So basically, one of our talent is doing a campaign. Sonia's doing a campaign, and she's been super busy. She's got loads of projects on, and basically for the campaign she needed to go on a briefing call. She wasn't able to make the briefing call that the brand had allocated with all the other creators on it. So this was going to be like a campaign-wide briefing call, and basically the brand were like, oh, we'll record it and we'll send you the sort of Google recording of this call. And she was like, yeah, cool, fine. And yesterday she called me and she was like, oh, I've just like watched the recording of the meeting. And she was like, yeah, it was fine, it was all good. And then the meeting ended and all the creators left.
I'm really scared.
And immediately the brand reps just start bitching about all the creators and have just left it in. Like, they obviously haven't watched this recording back. And it's on there. And then she sent me like what the brand was saying. And literally immediately the last creator leaves the call and the brand, and I quote, says, blank is going to be a serious problem. About one of the creators.
I am actually speechless.
Was described as niggly. Like, they were like, oh.
No, they even spoke about Sonia on it.
Yeah, they spoke about Sonia. They spoke about Sonia.
I'm sorry, but Sonia is actually... I feel like I sound like a mum who like won't have anything sad against their child, but Sonia is like the least offensive person you are ever gonna meet.
And far from niggly.
I know.
We do sound like mums who are like, my child does nothing wrong.
My child is
At
perfect.
parents' evening. But literally, when I found this out, I was like, this is potentially one of the biggest fuck-ups I've ever seen. Like, that is obscene. Can you imagine how embarrassed? This is available on a public link, so all the other creators can go back and
And it's
watch
still
it.
live.
It's still live, but Sonia has since emailed and told them, and she's not received a response. she's
What did she say? You left it a bit bitching about all of us.
Well, she's just been like, there might be some things in there that will upset some people.
You want to delete?
Sorry to niggle, but
No, literally, yeah. Just be like, sorry, this bit's at the end where you continue to speak about, where you continue the call after everyone leaves, and it might be upsetting for some of the creators to see. So if you want to just cut that bit down.
I can't believe that.
I know.
can we watch it? Can we watch it?
Yeah.
I know. And they're like talking about how the other people are going to be.
I am truly shook to my core. I'm
Me too.
speechless.
That's why I had to wait to tell you this.
I think I need time to recover.
What a story that was.
I
to
feel
tell.
we need to end the podcast there.
I feel like we've spoken about scandalous things.
But that's got to be the worst thing I've ever encountered in my long career.
words can't even
Luckily, Sonia is not the creator they're
talking about.
concerned with the most. Imagine she was watching that and she heard the words, Sonia, here's a problem. Can you imagine how upset you'd feel? Like, working with brands can be obviously quite daunting for so many creators. And then you hear them essentially just bitching about you behind your back. Like,
and they send you the link to listen to.
Please listen to this.
But
Skip to the end.
Especially the fact that, I just think the fact that Sonia has actually emailed them to be like, just a heads up, like, you might want to delete this.
Yeah.
Is such a kind thing to do.
Not niggly.
It's not niggly.
No.
I think that's a really kind thing to do,
It's
because
so kind.
she's looking out for them, but mostly I think looking out for the other creators, because she doesn't want the other creators to see it and be upset by that.
Yeah.
Our Sonia is a legend.
She really is.
Why do you always say Sonia?
Sonia. Sonia.
That is wild. I mean, the next thing we're going to talk about seems extremely boring in comparison, which was about people calling us the wrong names on emails and how much it annoys us.
That is annoying.
Yesterday, Seran got called Siobhan and
Avery.
By two separate people.
I can understand Siobhan, okay? My name, Seran, it is a bit of a confusing name. It's Welsh, so maybe they got confused. Obviously starts with S, ends in N, fine. Avery. Is that not a type of bird?
No. Was there someone on the chain called Avery?
Who is Avery?
I
feel
don't know.
like potentially, because you were CC'd at one point.
What they
So
thought?
I feel as
They might
if
have
they
mixed our names.
mixed up Verity and Avery, and then thought I was Verity and called me Avery. That's the only explanation.
I think that is a very
I guess there is a V in
convoluted.
there.
No, I mean, I got called Luca about 7 times in one email. It's not even like there was just a typo on the "Hey Lucy" and it was Luca. It's literally like, "Hey Luca, so regarding the contract, Luca, if you could send us this, Luca," and then Verity just forwards me the chain saying, "Not the Luca."
But also, like, I do think with getting people's names wrong, like, clearly in that instance, that person has just assumed your name is Luca because that is what they're used to, I guess. Like, they probably know a Luca, and then they're just calling you Luca. They've not even bothered to check that your name is actually Lucy. And it actually, like, not to be serious about it, but it does grind my gears. Like, it's so unprofessional. Like, it's in someone's chain and in someone's email. Have you done it before?
I feel like such a hypocrite right now. We spoke before about using Superhuman. This is so embarrassing.
Oh no.
And with Superhuman, we have a thing called snippets, and like it like can pre-populate an email for you, and like obviously we edit it as and when, and you can have like, hey, first name, and it will insert the person's first name. So Sarah and I have one to forward gifting and events to our TA, Sophie. And it was Sophie's second day, and I'm giving it forwarding all this stuff onto her. I didn't realise that the first name bit actually just had someone's first name in it. Like, it wasn't the template thing, if this makes sense. So it literally, I can't remember what the person's name was, but it literally was like, "Hey Sarah," to every single person I emailed that day with that template, which probably was about 25. And at the end of the day, Sophie messages me, bearing in mind it's her second day, saying, "Just a heads up, you've been calling everyone Sarah." And I was like, oh my God.
You could have just been like, "I was testing you. I was testing to see whether you're reading the emails. Well done, you passed."
Well, you may keep your job.
Yes, congratulations.
But yeah, so I think I'm a bit of a hypocrite because I did that for a whole day.
We've all done it. But Luca, the person who called you Luca, shall not be forgiven in my eyes.
And Avery shall not be
And
forgiven
Avery,
either.
no.
And you know what? We've all done it, but we haven't sent them videos of us being horrible about them.
I know, that's my benchmark for fucking up now.
I'm so sorry, Verity, but I didn't actually send them a video of me being horrible about them, so...
Exactly, so I'm fine. You can't sack me.
Rather than yapping on about Molly May or Vlogust or Zoella or, like, you know, Louise Pennant or whatever it is that we've been talking about, we decided to freshen things up. And one thing that has kept coming up, like, in comments, is that people find our relationship amusing in terms of, like...
Relationship goals.
And obviously we know that there are often lots of things and lots of questions that you don't get to ask your boss or your manager, things that you might want to ask them, but it's just a little bit too awkward. And I feel like we're in a position where you guys can probably ask me pretty much anything. Do you think that's fair?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
So we have asked you guys questions that you wouldn't want to ask your boss, our listeners. And our listeners have sent in these questions, and I'm going to give them to Lucy and Seran now, and I'm going to have to answer them as best as I can.
Can't wait.
Neither can I. Because I feel like I've never asked you well, obviously I've asked you some serious questions, but like I've never come to you with like a serious question. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Is the response going to be as if we are asking you them?
Yeah.
Okay.
It will be my response to the questions
us.
that other people didn't want to ask their boss.
Okay. I can't wait.
I am actually scared. And normally Seran is like, oh, I'm scared. And I've noticed like how much Seran says she's scared. By the way, everyone, I do not scare Seran.
Yes, she does. She does. She scares me. I'm afraid. Please send help.
Right now, I'm scared. Okay, producer Sophia is going to send you guys the questions now. So she's going to split them up, and then you're going to get them on your phones, and then you can ask me the questions. None of us have seen these questions, so yeah, it's going to be fine.
These questions are like, they've chosen violence. This is
They're very juicy. I wouldn't want to answer those.
I'm fully on the hot seat.
Can I go first?
Yeah, you go.
Okay. I've always wanted to know this. How many other people did you interview for my job?
Normally, for each role, we've had between 50 and 100 applicants.
Whoa.
That's a lot.
Which is kind of crazy, I'm not going to lie.
We're
like,
so good, Sarah.
Also, I think as well, like, considering that we're such a small business, like the fact that, especially like when Lucy and I started, it was literally like you're trawling through those on your own. You've not got a HR team that can help you with that. Like, props to you.
And we've got a much better system now, thankfully. It was intense searching through all of them. But then I would never normally interview more than 10, I'd say.
Okay.
Because interviews are obviously so time consuming. So I normally do 1 round of CVs, 1 round of tasks, and 1 round of actual interviews, which normally has like an element of a task as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I fought off a good amount of competition.
You're so competitive.
Well, yeah, I didn't want Verity to be like, yeah, to be fair, there was actually only 5 applicants and you were the only person I interviewed, because then I haven't achieved anything.
No, I know what you mean. I'd sort of feel the same. And for this social media exec role, I actually think there's going to be more, because I think we're on like 70 applicants to our first round already, and
That's
it's only been live
crazy.
for less than a week.
That's wild.
This question's quite funny because I would never want this to ever happen to me, but how can I have your job in this company? I'm not coming for your job.
I would say,
You can't.
because we're a small company, it's interesting you guys have just like kind of said it like that, because actually I kind of look at it in a reverse way. I think because we're a small company, like so small, it has always been an element of you guys starting to take my job in a way. Like, because at first I was just managing talent and just doing the non-exclusive roster. And now like my role has changed to be more like HR and like head of IT, head of legal.
Head of legal. Love that title.
And all of those sorts of things. Whereas you guys have started managing the talent more. And I think like as we progress, like this is maybe a bit of a dangerous thing for me to say, but I think like my intention, provided you guys like want that and like feel comfortable and like want to take on that, the roles as they come up, will be that like you guys will continue taking on my role as we continue growing as a company. Maybe one day I'll be really old and step down.
You'll be really old before us.
Well, I was going to say, you are a lot older than we are, so that probably will happen quite soon.
Why do I feel like Verity's age comes up in every episode and you're always so mean?
I mean, she's only 4 years older than me. So
I thought you were about to be like, she's only 40.
No, I do. No, I feel like, you know, that could happen.
Watch out, basically. Watch your back.
I want to go on the same vein as my first question in my competitive nature.
Brilliant. Classic.
Did anyone else come close to getting my job instead of me?
No. I'd say for both of you, it was like a clear-cut decision. And I had like a gut feeling. And I was just like,
We always say trust your gut.
let's
Your
do
gut
this.
Never lies. That bacteria in your gut.
It's
True. It's connected to your brain.
It's a completely normal thing to say.
It is. Okay. Am I being promoted from merit or because there's space in the budget? That's spicy.
Oh.
That's a quite strange question. Am I being promoted from merit or because there's space in the budget? I mean...
Ask Oz.
Yeah. Yeah, we got
Head of finance.
I would say I would never promote someone just because there's space in the budget. Is that the wrong thing to say? I don't know.
Surely not.
That's a better answer, I would say.
Yeah.
Surely.
I think like if you are doing your job and doing it well, you will be promoted and given pay rises if there's space in the budget. Otherwise, like obviously you probably have inflationary pay rises, but it doesn't kind of work in that. You're not going to get the exact same progression. I can imagine like some HR expert being like, wrong answer.
No, I don't think so, because you're saying that it's based on merit, and then if there's budget, then you get promoted. But I guess like maybe this person's asked it because they're in a situation where they're ready to progress, but there's no space in the budget. So they're probably like, are there places out there that just promote people because there's budget rather than merit? I don't know.
I feel like I kind of maybe know this, but what were your first impressions of me?
That you were really confident and proactive and like good vibes, good energy, I'd say would be my first.
They could make it, guys.
And the same for Seran. I think Seran gave like,
oh God,
great Welsh Cardiff.
That's basically the only reason I was hired.
No, you just gave great energy. Like I just felt like I felt like a connection.
Yeah, I felt that too also in my first interview with you. This is hilarious, and I feel like Lucy and I would love to know this. How much more do you earn than me? I was just like, don't answer that.
No, I don't mind answering that, but it's not going to be a quick answer.
Dun dun dun.
When you were both hired, you actually earned more than me. I didn't, because I wasn't really paying myself, and this is like the thing. Like when you start a business, like that is the Sophia's like, I know, like that is the risk that you run. That is that can be what happens. You know, it's a big risk and it's a big like burden. And I'd saved money, so that's how I'd managed to do it. So that's kind of the context. And then like also contextually, I think it's worth saying with my experience of like 7-8 years in the industry, someone with 7 to 8 years would be earning like 150% more than someone with 2 years in the industry, like at the current rate. So now salary wise, what I'm taking home now is probably about 10% more than what you guys are earning. However, so my success and like what, like my salary and etc. will be based on the success of the company at the end of the year. So like I will then take a bonus if the company is profitable. So it's hard for me to be like, I earn X amount more than you, because I don't know what I'm going to earn, because I spend, like, as Oz hates me for, I invest a lot more back into the company. So actually, compared to what I would be earning now if I was employed, it's significantly less, because I am building and reinvesting back into the company to hopefully then be able to pay you guys more, to, you know, eventually pay myself more. So it's not really like a straightforward answer of like, I earn X amount, because I don't really know what I'm going to earn at the end of the year. And I'm also reinvesting back into the company a lot, so we can then give bigger bonuses, give bigger pay rises, etc.
That's really interesting.
That is so interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. I bet the audience members. I bet the listeners wanted you to be like, I earn 100 grand more than you guys. And they're going to be like, there is no tea in that answer.
I know there is no tea in that answer, but I guess like the point is I feel like if you're starting a business for money, that is actually the wrong thing to do it, because you start by earning a lot less money.
Yeah. Because you're in it for the long run.
Yeah. Marathon, not sprint.
Yeah.
So I have prepared a bit of a secret segment for you guys. And Tom, who's another member of the TBH team, and I have been working in tandem secretly to gather some creator confessions, because we don't want you guys to know what they're going to be. Okay. So I've got one for each of you, and I'm going to text them to you, and I want you to read them verbatim straight away. And then I want your genuine reactions. Yeah.
What, from our Sonias?
From people on social media, online. We've been working really hard on this.
Okay.
What? So these are real...
These are confessions that we've had through from creators. Yeah. Lucy, I'm going to pass the mic on to you because you're going to go first.
Oh my God, why am I actually so scared? I mean, classic me, but
I'm scared to read aloud. Oh my gosh, producer Sophia is typing. I can see on my WhatsApp. I've done several collaborations with a well-known beauty brand, but well, let's just say I don't actually use half of the products I promote. There's one skincare brand that I've been recommending like crazy, but truthfully, it gave me a massive breakout the first time I tried it, and I haven't touched it since. But the paycheck was so good, we're literally talking 10k here. I literally can't turn it down.
nah, sorry.
I think that's so bad. I'm sorry.
I think that's such bad form and like gives creators a bad name.
Yeah.
Sorry, babe. Like whoever wrote that.
That is so bad. Do you know what this actually just reminds me of though?
What?
There's a certain Sonia on our roster who like kills me. She is the best ever at giving product feedback.
Yes,
You know
I
exactly
know
who
who
I'm
you
talking
mean.
about. This brand sent her gifted product. This person will literally trial the product for months and months, and if it's like even slightly off, she will give such clear and detailed feedback to the brand on the product. She'll be like, it made me come out in a rash, or it made me go have a bit of rosacea, or like, well, not rosacea, but like whatever. And she sent them this big long email with like so much product feedback.
But like useful feedback. It wasn't just like hating on their product. It was actually constructive feedback, which I think is incredible.
Yeah, and it just made me so proud to manage her. And I replied to her being like, I'm so proud of you. Like, this is incredible. And I'm so proud to manage you. And that, I think, is something that's true of all of our Sonias.
It's hard because I think there is two sides to it, right? And at the end of the day, we don't know what this creator's financial position is. We don't know what stage in their career that they're at. And you know, sometimes you got to pay the bills. And if this is the only way that creator can pay the bills at that very moment, like, who are we to judge? I think the only thing, without all that context, my gut is saying you're not respecting your audience, and your audience are the only reason that you are being paid 10 grand for this brand deal. So you need to respect them and respect. For me, a creator respecting their audience is only talking about products that they genuinely like and use. So for me, that's where the main issue is with that.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that like obviously a huge part of what creators do is influence their followers into buying product. So to promote something that you don't agree with is crazy, because literally like people who are spending their hard-earned money on things that you're saying are incredible, and if they don't work and then they're just wasting their money on that, it's wild.
But that was an outstanding confession, and I'm very excited for the next one, producer Sophia.
I am ready. Seran was ready.
I was ready.
Okay, it's coming through.
I do a couple of cake baking reels every month, and recently partnered with a popular cake company that sent me one of those just add water boxed cake mixes. They claimed it would come out completely creamy, perfectly fluffy, and utterly delicious. They even told me to talk about how it's the creamiest cake creation you'll ever taste. But in reality, the cake came out crumbly, kind of chalky, and as far from creamy as you can imagine. Still, I had to keep a straight face, claim it was this creamy, crave-worthy cake, while cringing between takes as it cracked and crumbled. It was categorically a Class A catastrophe. I barely managed to bite and had to cover up the chaos with clever editing.
It's colourful language.
Yeah. Let's just say I was not convinced or comforted by that cake.
You read that with great ease.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Guys, drama degree, sorry.
Oh,
You've just been pranked by the prank patrol.
but it didn't even work.
It didn't work.
What?
We tried to get you Verity, but you're
It didn't work.
What are you joking?
It was literally like, and you were just like,
What? Hang on, is this all pre-planned?
Yeah.
Yes!
and it didn't even work. So that was a waste of time. That was embarrassing.
Cut the tape.
Shut up! As in, like, you were trying to...
We were all trying to catch you out and make you to read something that was really hard to read, and you were meant to fumble on your words. It was meant to be really funny, and it wasn't.
I think where we went wrong is cut is an easier sound to make than wall. Like if she was like the wombling walls and the Wimbledon balls, you know.
Guys, that... I actually, like... I feel like a weird sense of pride that, like, that I did that.
Yeah.
Well, you should. But also, do it again and fuck up.
Yeah. Can we just try again?
Yeah, I've
for
also ruined
for
the
plot?
segment.
Yeah,
so,
you have.
hang on a second. So, that wasn't even a real dilemma.
No.
It was all set up.
Yeah. That was meant to be funny for everyone at home. And it
You ruined
wasn't.
it. Say sorry. Say sorry.
Say sorry to everyone.
Guys, remember, this girl did a drama degree.
Prepared for season 2 because we're going to up our prank game because this one didn't work.
Oh my God, I'm a bit scared of that. I don't want to be, like, the fact that I beat the prank makes me feel very proud.
But I'm kind of happy that we all actually managed to make
No,
this
guys.
in cahoots, add the extra segment without
Yeah.
Verity knowing or questioning.
Did not question a thing. I was literally like, oh my God, Sophia, like, how excellent. Love that you've added in a surprise segment.
Very proactive.
Yeah.
Well done, Sophia.
Oh, guys, that is hilarious. But now I'm going to be on my, like, A game looking for pranks.
Well, you're safe for the rest of the season.
But are you? Game's on, like...
Wow.
Now who can prank who? That is the end of this episode. What have we learned, guys? What is the wrap up?
We've learned not to record yourself when you're on a G meet and bitch about people at the end and then send it to them.
I love how like niche that is. Like how
So
regularly will that happen?
Please don't do that. If you're listening.
Yeah, please don't. And also, please call people the correct name when you're sending them an email because it's quite annoying when you call them Alessandra or whatever they called you.
Siobhan.
And if you have any awkward questions that you want to ask your boss but can't, you can ask us and we'll answer them for you.
And pranking Verity, it's going to be a lot harder than we thought.
Yes. That was episode 9 of Lifting the Lid. We are back with a very, very juicy one next week with Oz, our head of finance, our man in finance.
Man of finance.
And very exciting, you can now watch our podcast on Spotify, which means you can like flick it down, have it on your phone, be doing other things at the same time. We love a multitask here at TBH.
Thanks for explaining to the listeners how to use it. I'm sure they all needed that.
I'm sure they did. And you can listen and watch this wherever you get your podcasts.
You can follow us on socials at TBH Talent.
And we're also on YouTube. Just search Lifting the Lid.
Bye!
Bye!